Hello everyone. For this video, we will talk about task and workload management. So, what is workload? Workload is it is the job that you are going to do, but it pertains to the experience or the expertise of the personnel that who will do the job. And controlling workload by pre-planning and delegation is one of your most important tasks. Everyone is responsible for his own workload and should share responsibility for the total workload. There is no real method in measuring this, and even if there was, we're all different and respond differently to the same workload. What is important is how we feel about our workload at a particular moment in time. Our feelings and attitudes are the main influences and how we want to react. To identify the intensity of workload, it is depends on the situation and the ability or experience of the personnel. For example, for inexperienced officers who have been at sea for a month, when they come into English Channel, this English Channel it's a vast traffic situation wherein it is not situation for traffic with fishing boats, but traffic with other vessels that are also navigating in the English Channel in and out. And at night, in bad weather, the number of tasks are large. For example, in bad weather, you have to identify or you have to see or predict the dangers of the navigation. Of course, the visibility at night, and of course, the presence of the unidentified landmarks or aid to navigation that can be a uh, a result to a dangerous navigation. And each task may be difficult to handle, and in dense traffic, there may be a little time to react. This high workload may lead to an overload situation in which they cannot keep up with all tasks. For example, in the open sea, there may be little to do. All actions may be familiar, and you've got days of time to plan. For example, you are navigating in the Indian Ocean, and there is nothing to do. Sometimes there is no vessel in sight, and you will feel relaxed, and you will think of something to do just to kill the time in the bridge. So that is one example of workload in an open ocean. Recognizing underload and normal workload is not a problem, but recognizing workload that's too high is difficult but important. If a workload is too high, you need to take actions before it's too late. So here are the signs that you are doing a high workload. For example, while you are doing a workload or you are doing a task, there is a duplication of effort. For example, you are correcting a nautical chart. In correcting nautical chart, if you don't have any experience at all or you are just starting as a navigation officer, the first thing you need to do is to get the chart. But if you don't know the tricks and the right procedures before correcting a chart, there will be a duplication of effort. And after duplication of effort, there will be errors. For example, you already did all of the corrections, but you forget to put the footnotes at the end of the chart that signifies or identifies which week of correction is it. So there will be errors because afterwards you have to record it in the cumulative book of chart corrections. And with that job, for example, you lost control because of the task at hand that you have to finish, just like correction of charts. There will be focus. And for example, you are navigating and you are the officer of the watch on that time. You will not have control and you will focus on the correction of the charts but not on the navigation. And there will be some distractions in your watch. And the result will be having a bad temper because there will be not enough time to finish the job. And for example, you have a watchman on the bridge while you are on duty. Because of your bad temper that you don't have control in your job, chatting will probably stop because you will be too focused. And attention to important tasks may decrease. If you are on duty, your primary task is navigation and watchkeeping, not correcting the charts. So, but if you will be focused on correcting the charts, but not in your main job as a watchkeeper, there will be problem because you are under high workloads. But these high workloads can counter by briefing, delegation, and planning. To avoid bottlenecks or pressure, decrease the number of tasks by delegating, postponing, not doing, or planning. Okay. So in delegating, you will delegate the job or assign the job to other ones or other else or other crew. Postponing, so you will reschedule the task to a time that you are not that busy. Not doing or not doing at all, and you will focus to a more important task and planning the job. So, for avoiding high workload, pre-planning is needed. So, what are the things that are directly under your control? For example, you can have your voyage planning. You can do briefings on your team. You can have checklists so you don't have things that you can forgotten. You can do the training of other personnel, your experience, and the procedures. And indirectly under your control are the management support, some new technologies that you are not well versed of, and the company's standing orders. You cannot usually change those indirectly under your control, but you can recommend and influence. The company will probably set broad guidelines, and you can define them more clearly. For example, one guideline might be to call the master if visibility gets bad, and you can define visibility as below one line. One range of workload is overload. One can say that the workload is overload if the job order assigned is too much for the assignee. For example, you are assigning a advanced work to our personnel who's supposed to do basic jobs only. Or if you are giving a job to a person to finish in 2 hours, but actually it should be completed in 4 hours. So the personnel that you assign the job to is experiencing overload. Another range of workload is normal workload. One can say that the workload is normal if the job assigned is just enough or compatible to the personnel who's supposed to do the job. If a job that is considered to be basic job or menial jobs is assigned to a person that should do a basic job according to his job description, the workload is considered normal. A workload can be considered underload if a person that's doing the job feels that the job is so easy. If he finished the job earlier than expected, then the job is underload. For example, you are navigating on an open sea and there is no any nearby vessel in sight, and you find yourself just sitting in the conning chair, or this is the chair that in front of the radar, or what we call the master's chair. The job is referred to as underload. For example, you have you don't have any jobs in mind, and you are navigating an open sea, and the result is for you to just kill the time, or the time just let it pass. You will do some readings, or you will do some organizing some tasks or planning your job for the whole week. So that is underload, but still you are doing your job. To avoid high workload, one way is to look at pre-planning. It's an opportunity for team problem solving. The master is present in the problem and his broad objectives as the officers suggest and decide on the plan. In this way, they quickly become more independent and confident. Pre-planning is time well spent. Some people say that it's the team leader's main function. Of course, to moderate the planning. Now, the second method of controlling workload is delegation. Everyone agrees that delegation is a good idea, but few people do it. And even fewer people do it well. One reason is fear. These are hazardous thoughts that can stop delegation. So, what can a person think that can stop him from delegating or delegating a job that's supposed to be that a job that should be doing by that person, but instead he will delegate it to his subordinates. What are those thoughts? For example, if I want a job done properly, I do it myself. So you will fear of delegating if you want the job to do that properly, you do it yourself so that you are sure. Yes, it's true, but it takes time to learn a new job, but you had to learn it as well. For the assignee or for your subordinate that you will assign your job to, he have to learn it himself. But sometimes you will think that I'll lose control. Okay? Sometimes because you will delegate a job to a subordinate, but you will not see him doing the job. But you will think that you will lose control. But that is wrong. You will actually increase your control because you can get more done in the same time. For example, there will be two jobs and you will delegate the other job to other one. Once you teach him how to do it, for sure he will do it to earn your trust. And in the same time, you can do the job that you're supposed to do. So you are hitting two birds in one stone, a win-win situation. Another thought, I like doing the job and I do it well. But with practice, you also get to like the job of delegation, of course. Because if you experience a delegation once, you will like it at all and you will do it again and again because you can finish more job than expected. Another thought is by the time I showed him, I could have done it twice. Of course, but speed with quality won't come right away because of every one of us is once a beginner also. What if he makes a mistake? Of course, sometimes you need to let people make mistake. And if the personnel you assigned the task to made a mistake, that is your responsibility. So you train him well and you teach him well of how to do the job properly. To whom should someone delegate the job depends on skill, experience, personality, and workload. Delegation is the best opportunity for training. For example, the third officer needs to practice using the route planning program. Then give him the opportunity of preparing the whole voyage plan. Initially, choose tasks that have a high chance of success. Make sure that you brief the third officer what is expected, the time and resources available. Don't forget to brief others that he is now doing the job. Otherwise, they will keep coming back to you and bypass the delegation process. So if someone is doing the job for you, you let them know that he is doing the job so that they will know. And for example, something goes wrong, the personnel will go to that crew that is doing the job, not to you, not to you the delegated the job. It will come to him first and let that person you delegated the job with come to you so that the chain will not be broken and there will be no bypassing to the delegation process. You have to force yourself to let go and stop interfering once you have delegated the job. People resent you giving them a task and then taking it away. Of course, you need to keep a balance between monitoring progress and not trusting people. Be positive. Try to stimulate them and give ideas rather than criticize. It's an art that you have to learn. You should gradually withdraw support, give a lot at the start, and less as competence grows. The best way to ask how much support they feel they need, but sometimes you should refuse to help and get them to find out for themselves. We are not spoon feeding a person. Just like what the saying goes, you are not helping a man by giving him fish. If you want to help a man, give him a rod and let him know how to fish himself. That is by delegating. Having to work on board is such, we can say that it is not hard, it is not easy, but it depends on your workload. For example, it seems that you are doing a hard job or a difficult one, but the the people around you is supporting you and training you and pushing you as well, and you will not feel it. You will not feel that you are doing a hard job. You will feel that you are doing it. But if you are experiencing a high workload, then a teamwork is needed. You need to have your team. You need to have a collaboration because doing your job or doing the jobs on board requires teamwork. I'm your instructor for this course, second mate Melvin Casanova. Thank you for listening.